So yeah, all right, Donny, hi. Give me a sentence.
Hi, my name is Donny Shit Me in the Dick Burbage, and I'm here to tell you that riffs are cooler than your leads.
All right, what's up, chug lovers, right arm masochists? How are you doing? Welcome to whatever this is, because I still don't have.
Purveyors of the riff muscle.
I still don't have a name. We are recording the first episode, so by the time it's out, you'll know what it's called. But as of right now, I don't know what this. What's something most guitarists think matters that actually doesn't?
Playing lead.
And that's why we're here, everybody. All right. Let me introduce my first guest, Donny Burbage. How you doing, man? It's great to have you here.
I'm doing pretty good, dude. Hanging in there like swimwear solid. Normal day and different day, same shit.
Dude, couldn't have said it better myself. I'm stoked you're here, man. Let's let everybody know, who are you? What do you do? What's the haps with Don? With the Don man.
So I'm a git fiddler, if you will. I'm a git fiddler. I play guitar in Cradle of Filth. I also write orchestrations and keys for my band, along with I assist with that also with other bands I've been in before, such as Aether Realm. I've done some stuff with Veil of Noth. I filled in for them for a bit. It's pretty hard stuff to play. I mean, you want rhythm chops, that band will fucking destroy you. And then, I've been a guitar instructor since I was 17 years old. I am a music theorist. My first tattoo was the Circle of Fifths. That's how much of a nerd I am. And then, I consider myself to be pretty clever and pretty intelligent at the inner workings of music, how a lot of stuff works. I'm also a purveyor of the person. I'm also kind of the person holding the flag, where it's you should like music theory, but you shouldn't let it overrule you, because that's not really how it works. A lot of people get that confused.
I actually fell victim of that. Sometimes when
it ruins you.
Sometimes when I listen to older songs of mine, when I didn't know what I was doing, I'm like, wow, that was way more creative of me. Good job, young Jason, because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
There was a quote that someone said about that one time, where it was he's free from the confines of knowing too much music theory, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm. And not that
I love that.
Yeah. And not that I know everything, but as soon as I learned a minor key, sick, power metal, let's go. And breaking out of that minor key, I was like, I can't do that. And then when I'd go back and listen to older songs, and I'm like, oh, I changed the key 3 times in this song. Not on purpose, just because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And there was that freedom to it of it sounds good. And that should be the most important part,
I love that though. It's almost like your ear kind of hears it's moved so many notes away from the center of what it should be, that your ear just goes, no, this one's the new center now,
Yeah.
And I like that. I think that makes music less static and less, to me, it's just kind of boring if it doesn't do things like that. But
right,
it doesn't always have to. It's just I like it that way.
Because that's the thing too, is you can change a key in a song sometimes, and it doesn't hit the way you want. I was listening to a Beast in Black song last night. Actually, someone had me play it on stream, and I didn't know the song, so I was like, all right, let me just learn it. I learned it while playing it, kind of thing. So I'm looking at a source, and as I'm like, oh, they changed keys 4 times in this song, and I never knew, except for the obvious power metal key change at the end of the song.
The Your Eden one or something like that? Or
no, because that's Battle Beast. But same kind.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Same kind of vibe though, because I did think of that song, and it was the same sort of vibe. But no, it was a Beast in Black song, Belladonna, and they changed the key 3 or 4 times, and other than the obvious power metal one at the end where they got to go big for the last chorus, I didn't catch the other ones until I was looking at it, learning it. I was like, oh, that's the same thing, but in a different. Whoa, oh my god, and it's probably not that impressive, but for me, I was like, wow,
No, it's cool because it's so smooth, you don't notice it, and those are always the best ones. That's
yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? It's the there's such the transitions into things is always the hard part for writing a song, and like when they're smooth like that no one else catches it, they're not so abrupt. It's kind of cool and brilliant. Sometimes the abrupt one is fine,
of course,
and it's cool, but like
there's
a place and time for anything.
The most popular example would be "Living on a Prayer" Bon Jovi. I mean, we're all waiting for that key hit, that key change.
Yeah, like the lift.
Yeah. I think this is a great moment, real quick, to let everybody know what this podcast is about. So it is a rhythm guitar sort of central, talking about the fundamentals, having some great guests come on, talk about insights, a little educational, talk about themselves and have some fun. But we're not going to be restricted to just rhythm guitar, but that is the main focus. But wherever it goes, it goes. But if you're a rhythm guitar enthusiast like myself, this is a great place for you to be here. So I'm really stoked to have Donny as my first guest. And we're just going to start, before we really get into the meat and potatoes of rhythm guitar, of your story, right? So take us back to little Donny, how you got started, your early bands, your projects, and then eventually where along the way you sort of found the importance of rhythm guitar, And because you're someone, by the way, who does it all, right? Like you're a shredder.
Yeah, I'm a lead guitarist actually, but yeah, but I always kind of tell everyone that like you're playing rhythm like 90+% of the song anyway, so it's the more important thing than the ability to play lead.
By the way, this isn't to discredit lead players, but God knows there's enough love for them out there. It's time for the rhythm boys to have a place. But the reason, again, I brought that up is, yes, you're a lead guitarist, but you still understand the importance of good, solid rhythm, So, yeah, let's hear your story, man, as much as you want to share. We don't have to go as far back as you don't want to,
All right, so there I was, 6 years old. No, I don't know. When I was a kid, I've said this actually a couple times in several interviews, so I'm just going to go with the same thing again, just to kind of really nail the fucking lore on this one. When I was a kid, I didn't like music at all, actually. I kind of hated it. But I always enjoyed video game music, and I always enjoyed orchestral scores from movies. Like the Stargate movie was an amazing score to me. I love that one to death. That's incredible. Like all the stuff that John Williams did with like Star Wars and like Indiana Jones and like even other things like there's who did I can't remember his name right now. Goldstein? I think it was Goldstein. He did Planet of the Apes, stuff like that. I always loved this stuff when I was a kid. When I was younger, I would just kind of write music. I wouldn't write music. I would actually just write lyrics to video game songs. And there wasn't like there wasn't like a YouTube or like a streaming platform of any sort. There wasn't a thing. If you wanted to listen to the song, you'd have to like play the game, because you couldn't go to a CD store, like a record shop, and buy the fucking thing either. It was just
right.
It's like if you wanted to hear it, it's like you had to either sometimes they had like in the options you could just listen to the songs, or you'd have to play the game and get to the level to listen to the song. And I would sit there and write lyrics to these Sonic the Hedgehog songs all the time when I was a kid. This is what I did for entertainment.
I love that. That's honestly really cool.
I grabbed the guitar when I was about 12 or 13 years old because I was bored, because I had beaten Ocarina of Time so many times that I had the Water Temple memorized. That says a lot, I think. So I just kind of picked it up. I started playing it, and then I kind of had a friend who taught me how to like tremolo pick. And then that was it. I was like, it was all over with. I was like, I'm solid from here. And it's funny because like you were saying, I like some stuff that I wrote when I was younger, I ended up using more recently, and they were really cool ideas because they had like really interesting tonal regions and key changes to them, but like I didn't necessarily know what I was doing, but I just thought it just sounded cool, And I found that I was more interested in like the creation of writing a riff or writing a song, as opposed to learning how to play someone else's song. To this day, I don't really know how to play anyone else's solo, actually. I do not know how to do that. There's probably not a single solo out there that I can play, other than ones that I write. That's it. But I can hear what other people play, and I can usually kind of go, oh, I know what they're doing. At this point now, obviously back then, no. I kind of just, joined my first band when I was like 17, I think. There was this online forum when I was 16 called Guitar War, and we would just make songs and post them on the forum, and everybody would vote which was the better song. That was the best way for me to get better at it. Ironically, Andy McKee was also on that before he was famous. So there's a lot of
I remember Andy. He's the kind of slap guitar guy, right?
Yeah.
I remember, and I could be wrong on this, but I remember him being like one of the first to really bring that style to light. I feel, because I remember he had that song like Driftwood or something. Yeah,
Driftwood,
something like that. And I remember like, what am I seeing right now? Oh my god! Like I hadn't really seen it before, and now a lot of people do it. But yeah, that's really cool, man, that he was there. I remember.
Oh, he was doing that then. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he would but he always had these like really cool finger picking stuff, and he didn't do a lot of the tapping things so much. Every now and then you would hear it, but it wasn't at the level that blew him up on YouTube. But I remember him being on Guitar War back in the day and stuff.
That's really cool.
That's kind of it, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that, I joined some bands. I got really lucky. I was a decent guitar player. I was, like, a lot of people consider me like a child prodigy when I was 17. I was, like, really good. I started teaching at 17. I went on to, I didn't really do anything cool touring-wise until I was 30, actually. And then then it all kind of just blew up for me. I was in Eighth Realm for 10 years, shredding the gnar with those dudes. I got to fill in for Veil of Noth. I was a guitar tech for a while. I did Necrogoblicon, Evergrey. I was supposed to do Hypocrisy, but then Cradle of Filth gives me the call to fill in for them, and I had to call my tour manager of Hypocrisy and tell him, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go play guitar."
Yeah, I mean,
that's where I'm at right now.
That's fair. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, and we started to get to know each other in your Aether Realm days, if you will, which really wasn't that long ago for me. Like you mentioned, you were in them for a decade, but. And that's been really cool, man, to see you go from that, the Cradle of Filth stuff, and now we've shared a lot of fun conversations together, which I always enjoy. So I'm glad you're here now with it. And so yeah, at what point, or I guess not so much did you realize the importance of rhythm, but just how did you approach it when you were starting, or at what point did it kind of click? Because I guess. Let me try to find the right answer for you. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around here, but I guess what I'm saying is I've met people still who are amazing guitarists, and sometimes that's sort of like the locking in of the rhythm isn't quite there. And I guess as someone, I grew up on the James Hetfield, the John Schaefer kind of guys. So for me, it wasn't really I just thought it was like, well, this is just what it is, because it's what I grew up playing. And then learning like, oh, not everyone really thinks too much about the rhythm like I do, but it's always felt like such an important thing, I
can say this: if someone was to be my guitar player in any band that I'm in, and their rhythm chops, like the accuracy that they're playing at, and the ability to be able to play something, if it's not up to par, and I am a person where I can be a bit tough on people when it comes to like what I expect you to be able to play. Mm-hmm. Because like I'm like, well, look, I don't consider myself the best guitar player in the world, but if I can play it, I think you should be able to play it too.
Right.
And if there's like a little slight deviation, it's okay. We can kind of like mold it to where we find like a middle ground to where like we can both play it, no problem. And that's just how we play it. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. I have no qualms with that whatsoever. But it's one of those things where like if you can't play that riff like on the grid basically for me, you're not my guitar player. Right. I am that way about it. Okay. I'm that way. And I'm a very harsh critic on this. Also, I'm very hard to please. I know this for a fact. But I expect results.
Right.
I'm kind of like Vivaldi was that way. I'm kind of like a Vivaldi. But where not like shred the gnar, but like where I just like I have high demands of my musicians for the things that I'm writing and stuff like that.
Right.
It's to me because I think that's what it's like. I hate whenever you go to a concert and you hear like the drums are super, super loud and then I can't hear what the guitar's doing. And I want to be able to hear all of them together and everyone's like, oh, they sound tight. And I'm like, all you can hear is the drums. So like all you know is that the drummer's good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes I think some guys mix the drums louder because the guitars are not good enough to be locked. So if that kick drum's a little bit louder, you kind of think that the guitar is locked with it when in reality it's not, because if you were to hear it like through the microscope, it might not be really solid then. And that's a real reality of a lot of musicians and players, and even like guys who are like really high up on the chain, they're not that really locked on it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I go record, I've been recording myself for a long time, and I hate editing guitars. I fucking hate it. It's just such a mundane task. I despise it. So my idea is just play it right, so I don't have to edit the guitars in.
Right.
Just play it like, as you know what I'm saying? It's like it's less work in reality. And then whenever you go into the studio and you're recording for people, the guy recording you, the producer, is just like, he's like, whoa, this is like super, super tight. And I get complimented that a lot. And I'm like, well, that's because I record myself my whole life and I hate editing guitars. I hate it. You know, I despise it. So
I mean, hey, if that's the motivation, right? Yeah, I agree though. I remember for me, when I did the first Helium Prime album, it was a real wake up call for me. The engineer literally just was like, it was my first like big boy album, you know. Mm-hmm. The engineer literally came to me, he's like, yeah, so you're going to do all these again. I was like, what do you mean? He's just like, listen to this shit. He's like pointing out like these fucked up chords and just the tremolo picking, just like, he's like, where are you even going with this shit? And something I don't really say, or I didn't for the longest time, but I don't care anymore because it's been 10 years. Like 50-50 of that shit is not me. It's the engineer. But the only reason I'm not embarrassed to say that now is it was such a wake up call for me that I was like, I will never let that happen again. And by the time the second album rolled around, he was like, dude, you're fucking night and day. That was like the ass kicking I need to be like, oh, I need to fucking be better.
You need that, don't you, though?
Yeah.
I think that's a thing. It's like there's like a little bit of a tough love thing that you kind of need sometimes to just kick you in the ass and get you in the gear to like really lock in and play the thing like in time locked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I remember when I was 17 or 18 years old, I was teaching this kid. He was a student of mine, and he was maybe like a couple years younger than me, and he only wanted to learn how to play leads and solos. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. We can do that. I was like, because I can play leads and solos, no problem. I've been doing that for a long time. But I was like, I don't think that your rhythm chops are there yet. And he's like, well, do I want to play rhythm guitar? He's like, he's like, wouldn't it be better if I studied and learned the thing that's harder to play by playing these leads and solos? And I was like, no. I was like, listen, most of the time, the leads and solos are actually not the hardest thing to play in a song. Most of the time, it's actually this like fucked rhythm thing that someone wrote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like this like syncopated thing is actually significantly harder than that. There's, you know, and it's like, so I made this kid a deal. I said, look, I'll make you a deal. I'll tell you what. All right. If you can play 4 measures of this one song that I'm going to give you to play, I'm going to give you the tabs for it. But if you can play 4 measures of this up to speed by next week, I will not teach you any rhythm guitar stuff. I will only teach you how to play leads and solos in music theory. That song was Bleed by Meshuggah, and he failed miserably. Okay? In which case, he then just goes, okay, I think I see your point. And I went, look, here's the thing. If you can play the rhythm part like precision perfect, then you know that your right hand's good. So when you go to play the lead, you know that you're going to play the lead in time. You're not going to add extra slop and, you know, because it's like when someone like sweeps, and it's like they sweep like this, and then it's just like that, and it's not like super, super clean. But like if you had learned how to like precision perfect play each individual thing, which when I do a sweep and I tap at the top of it, it's triplets, so it's like sextuplets, right? Mm-hmm. It's like triplet, 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 bop, like that. It's like if you knew how the triplet's supposed to feel already, which you're only going to learn by playing rhythm, then your lead will be clean sounding. So you have to be good at rhythm.
And that is such a missed point, right? Like I love the way you just said it, right? Like if you would understand because there's still rhythm in the solos.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So just because it's not a riff, right? Or you're not chugging, there's still rhythm there, you know? And there's riffs that aren't just power chords and down picking. Cause I've had students, and I'm, you know, I am openly, admittedly not a shredder. So like when I have students who want to shred, I usually like pawn them off to someone else. Like, look, I'm going to waste your time, and I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not going to get you where you want to go, kid. But I try to help them before that with things like you said. I was like, but here's things we can do, you know? And they never want to do it. Never fucking interested. And I was a kid once. I get it, right? You want to jump straight to the solo. I had a kid come in and he wanted to learn the symbolic solo by Death. And I was like, dude, we're not just going to learn the symbolic solo by Death. Like we're not just going to jump from A to symbolic, you know? But he like, dude, I would try my best. And he's like, I'm just going to try it. I'm like, all right, well, let's slow it down. Let's slow down the tempo. And we'll, let's get it all there. Let's lock it in, and we'll go to speed. Oh, I think I could do it to speed. I'm just like, okay. All right, let's show me what you got, but I remember being that way too, like people telling me to slow it down. I don't want to slow it down, dude, so I get it,
Yeah,
but stressing the importance of it. And I wonder if you would agree with this, to actually kind of jump to solos, because in my later years I have gotten a little more interested in playing leads and diversifying myself and stuff. And I've talked to friends, and it always comes down to this is going to be a shocker, but no matter what it is, I have found it comes down to the same shit. Practice, go slow, play to a fucking metronome.
Do you know how long I spent? Because you have to remember, like, I was on this forum and I was recording myself all the time. So I still have a lot of these recordings of me, like, trying to play stuff. And I have old recordings from when I was like 14, 15 years old. And if I go back and listen to like how I played then, it's like, it's so terrible compared to how I play now, right? And I remember like I spent a whole year trying to learn how to do sweep picking. And it was legitimate. Like, I mean this, every day I practiced this. And it wasn't until like 1 year of practicing every single day that I was able to play it. Like a 3-string sweep pick arpeggio that was like up to speed and clean. It took that long. And I had to do it so slow for so long. And it's just that way. But if it's one of those things, it's just how it is,
Mm-hmm.
It's important though to like do a mixture of things where like you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, but also doing a lot of other things that's just fun to play, because if you don't enjoy playing the instrument, you're never going to pick it up. You're never going to get better anyway. You have to, like, when people are like, you got to practice a click track. I'm like, well, you should practice a metronome. I practice a metronome. But I think like depending on how many years you've been playing the guitar, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it's like first year student or something like that, like, nah, just play to the like a drum loop on YouTube or like a drum groove or something like that. It's a little bit easier to play to than a click track, but you're not trying to like micro fix things. You're trying to get like this macro ability down of how to play something correct and accurately. But then when we want to be like really fucking precise, metronome.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we seem to have the same philosophy there too, and I absolutely agree. Anytime I get a new student, it's just, like, I don't even worry about that stuff for a while. Like, the first goal is like, let's learn a song, right? Who do you like?
Yeah, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to play? Exactly.
Yep. Who do you like? Cool. And then I'll find the easiest song by them. Let's play it. Then you rewind and just go over the fundamentals. Because you're right, man. If you start them off day one, cool, let's play this minor pentatonic to a metronome, and that's all we're gonna do. They're not coming back.
No, and then the thing is, this is like, no one learned guitar that way.
Yeah, exactly.
No, none of us did. The only reason we tell people, it's like, well, you should practice your scales like from day one. You should practice to a metronome from day one, and it's like, you should do those things, but like not from day one.
No, fuck
because
no.
None of us did that. What ended up happening is that we all eventually like went, oh man, I would be so much better now if I had done that then. But if you had done that then, I don't think you would have enjoyed the guitar and you wouldn't have picked it up. So no, you wouldn't be any better. You wouldn't even be playing the fucking instrument.
That's so true. I mean, for me, it was, I learned Metallica intros, right? Like that's where I started.
Yeah.
One, Enter Sandman, shit like that. And then it was actually a buddy, Anthony, who showed me fucking Iron Maiden and shit like Iced Earth. And that's what really got my rhythm, like, enthusiasm going, where I was like, oh my god, what is this? Oh man. And
yeah.
And then that's when, but that was, I would have been playing for a couple years and I knew some shit. So you're right. Like, we don't do that day one, and I try not to do that. And I think any good teacher knows not to do that, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, because that student's probably not coming back, right? Obviously I'm a little stiffler for the rhythm too, so I really try to focus on that and hound it in, of like the importance of it being tight, especially with the kind of stuff we play, man. Like you mentioned Bleed, you couldn't play that song if the drummer and guitarist and bassist aren't locked in on that Bleed riff. It's gonna be a disaster.
It sucks.
It's gonna be a disaster.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And like, if anyone's ever seen Meshuggah play live, like, that is one of the tightest bands you'll hear live ever. They're just ridiculous,
Right. I mean, even
and they're actually playing the instruments. There's no trickery, there's no chicanery of any sort
Right.
at all. It's like these dudes are actually playing it.
I mean, God, dude, even Devin Townsend praises them in the song Planet of the Apes, you know, like,
Yeah.
so that says a lot right there. But yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about like your playing style a bit, you know, and one thing I have found interesting, and I'd be curious if you notice this about yourself, you know, this is going back a little bit. I talk about when we start to figure things out, like the theory a little bit more, or you start to get really into a certain guitarist. You've learned everyone's got their way, right? Like Michael Romeo, he's fucking incredible, but I've definitely started to notice like he's got his way of writing riffs that makes it very Michael Romeo. Is there a Donny way you would say? Like, is there something you like to always go back to when you're working on music? That's kind of like your comfort zone, I guess, you know?
So I'm not originally a metal guitar player.
Okay.
By any means. In fact, I don't play metal on my guitar when I'm home for fun. That's not what I do. I don't do that. And it's funny because we are talking so much about rhythm and precision, but I think that's the context in metal versus like if you're playing blues, it's like the rhythm, the way that you have to think about it is a different mindset, right? And again, like that is still the majority of the song is going to be rhythm stuff that you're doing, but like the way that you would play this is a different thing. You know, it's like if you hear like a metalhead play blues, they just sound like a metalhead playing blues. They don't actually sound like a real authentic blues player.
Right.
And this is something that I despise because when I'm known for being able to play multiple genres and smashing those genres into different songs. If you listen to Eighth Realm, you've heard this where it's like I have Latin American inspired stuff and I have authentic Latin American grooves in those as well. Like someone from Brazil would listen to that and be like, whoa, this sounds like something from Northern Brazil. And it's like, well, that's because I studied these different rhythms and stuff like that at a college level. And this is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about Latin American rhythms. I'm very passionate about polyrhythmic stuff. Sub-Saharan African tribes have ridiculous ways they count music, which is mind-blowing to me. And I'm really into this, which is why rhythm is such a very strong thing to me. The way I got there is I never watched guitar player videos. You know, a lot of us kind of like, we watch like the Petrucci video or the one with like Paul Gilbert and there's like the weird background of just random stuff happening, which I absolutely just love that kind of humor. That's my jam. And they're always just like doing cool stuff and shredding and doing, you know, teaching how to do stuff like that. But I never watched those ever when I was kind of like coming up as a guitar player. I watched religiously Mike Portnoy on drums.
Okay.
And then I would watch Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa on drums. I would watch drummers. I never watched guitar players play. I watched drummers play. And that kind of is why I play the way that I play. It's because I have inspirations from all sorts of different genres of music because I don't have an allegiance to one thing in music. I have allegiance to guitar.
Right.
And I like if anything has cool guitar in it. But to me, there's more to just the song itself, or like what you're doing phrasing wise is more than just the notes. Because in reality, on this side of the hemisphere, we're only using 11 notes, the 12th note's the octave, right? And if we're going to play something that's in key and never deviate from that key, so it's diatonic, there's only 7 notes we're playing then. Now, there seems to be a lot of music for only having that limited options, right? This just seems like we have so much music. So the only thing that is really different then is the rhythm.
Yeah.
Where you placed everything in time itself is what is different, right? So that's in reality the more important thing. Because
chills, everybody. Chills.
It would, what a boring world it would be if we didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? We would have ran out of ideas a long time ago, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just It's the space in between. It's this timing. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like it's almost like a space time thing if you want to think of it like that. It's like, well, it's this and this. You know, it's the timing and the notes. It's the pitch and the rhythm is a big important factor of it. But the weird thing about it is that what makes the pitch feel fresh and new is the timing, the rhythm of it. You know, you can literally play the same exact melody line as something else and change the timing of it, and it would be completely unrecognizable. And this is really cool because actually in Super Mario World, this is done. Super Mario World is a brilliant example of this. Okay, and this is gonna appeal to anyone who's like a video game nerd of any sort, because I'm a big video game nerd. Video game music has been a big part of my life, and probably the reason why melodically and rhythmically I am the way I am, coupled with like listening to drummers most of the time. But in Super Mario World, it is the same melody line for every song, but no one noticed.
I definitely didn't notice.
Go back and listen to it.
Did you tell me this before? I've heard this. Now,
I did a interview podcast thing actually with Decibel Magazine about video game music, and I talked about this extensively. And this is weird because like no one has actually even brought this up on YouTube. I have a friend who grew up with me when I was a teenager. His name is Norm. You might know him on YouTube as the Video Game Historian, and he actually talks about this also. Norm's brilliant. He's absolutely a genius and just a lovely dude and one of the best hangs imaginable. I used to go to bars and hang out with him all the time. I loved hanging out with that dude when we were like 20,
shout out
21, 22. Yep. Shout out to fucking Norm from Video Game Historian on YouTube. He is brilliant. I love that guy to death. He's just absolutely awesome. Anyway, he talked about this also, and this is how I learned about it because I didn't even notice. And I'm the musician. I didn't even notice. So, you have like this bum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Okay, that melody line is the same melody line in every level, every single time. It's just that it's different. It might go ba 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 da da boo boo ba ba ba, and that's what it plays when you're in the castles, or you listen to like the Ghost House. It's like very similar. Different, even when you're in the underground, it has this like ping-pongy delay sound and that, but it still plays the same melody line.
That's crazy.
Every single time.
Imagine
Kondo decided that he wrote too much music in Super Mario Bros. 3, so he decided he's going to write all the same music, but with just the same melody line for this one.
Imagine, dude, pitching that. He's like, all right, guys, I got the music. It's just this. They're like, what do you mean?
One riff.
Yeah. It's just this. Trust me, no one's going to notice. And no one noticed. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, because he's brilliant at reharmonization. And he also understands that the rhythmic placement of it has to be different for the context that you're trying to paint. It's some heady shit, ain't it? Like,
no, it's crazy because like I haven't played that game in a long time, and now I want to now just for that. I want to revisit, and I'm gonna be listening. So I don't have anything to play it on, but I'm sure I know somebody who does. So I will find a way. But that's really cool, man. I love that. Now I think you answered this next part of all this. But if there's anyone else, and maybe if we need to rephrase it, we'll keep it guitar focused. But this was going to be followed with, who are your influences? And now you've actually named quite a few and already talking about things.
Oh God, dude.
I know. So
that list is ridiculously long, and it makes no sense at all because it goes from old school blues players to jazz players, Pat Metheny, you mean like even country players like Albert Lee, Holdsworth also, if you want to get into like more like fusiony stuff. Chick Corea, not even guitar players, Koji Kondo, Nobuo Matsu, who did Final Fantasy. Koji Kondo's the Nintendo guy. There's Jeremy Soule, who's known for like Skyrim. There's there's a lot of like, there's even drummers that just influence me as well in terms of like how I would do things. Like I said, it's like even Gene Krupa and like Buddy Rich, who's like 50s, stuff like that. There's like tons of jazz musicians, tons of blues musicians. I mean, let's put it this way. If you ever see like a list and someone says, who are the best guitar players in the world? And you have people telling you like all these different people or like the most unknown, unsung guitar players, but they should be more in the spotlight. Like Ty Tabor from King's X is a great example of that to me. Not everyone, you're going to see every single person that's listed in that like list from like a bunch of random people that don't even agree on the same genres. Every single one of those guitar players, I promise you, I've listened to extensively, and I am a big fan of their playing.
Nice.
Because I'm a fan of the guitar. That's how I am. It's because to me, the way that I see music is not this thing or this thing. I don't see it as such a black and white experience. It's the same thing. It's just that the way that we organize it is differently.
Right.
And to be authentic with the way that it sounds, you have to put yourself in a frame of mind to be able to do that. That's the reason why I can play different genres so efficiently, is because I've learned to basically play these different genres, but I also learned that like as I'm playing them, it's like the frame of mind that you're in has to change to be able to be authentic sounding. If I go and I have a blues gig, I can go do that, and people will be like, "Wow, you've been a blues player your whole life." Like, no, some of my life, I'm on country albums also. It's like, well, you know, and I could do some twangy sounding shit, and people are like, "Wow, it sounds like you'd be like a real Nashville kind of guy." I'm like, no, I don't really listen to much of country, you know, but I like country guitar players, you know?
Right.
There's like, you know, it's like Albert Lee or Vince Gill or you know, it's like, and these are like, you know, dudes. I mean, even like Steve Lukather from Toto. That guy's amazing at guitar. He's incredible. No one ever. You don't really hear. I mean, anyone's actually a real guitar player would say that, but like it's not something you hear metalheads ever say, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing you wouldn't hear blues players say. They'd be like, "Oh, we got to talk about, you know, this guy." Even James Jamerson, who's a bass player, is a big inspiration of mine. That guy is responsible for every bass line you ever heard from any Motown song. Nice. But the way that dude's rhythm playing is done and grooves is so hard. Even Victor Wooten, right? Victor Wooten's a big example, and I love this because Victor Wooten actually has a really, really good video that I think is a very appropriate for this entire discussion we're having here. Oh, nice. Victor Wooten says the note that he's playing doesn't matter. He can play any note; doesn't matter at all, as long as that note, even if it's wrong or out, felt like it grooved. Right. It doesn't matter, you know, and like that's such a cool thing. And he plays this wrong note, but he makes it like rhythmically groove because the space where it's at is more important than the actual pitch. If I can remember everybody, I will actually, I'll try and I'll talk to Donny after and I'll try to make sure I can like pin that somewhere. So if anyone's interested in that video, you can go watch it. So I love that. And dude, and something you said too, like this is the part I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this podcast is I'm hearing things that you're saying that I'm like, oh shit, I never thought about that. The whole state of mind idea. I love that, you know? And it goes back to you, what you mentioned about the what was it? I'm sorry, the Brazilian percussion. Is that what it was? Yeah. There's like different styles of like different rhythmic. And you were Brazilian saying like percussion stuff like that, and like a lot of the times if you hear metal bands do it, it sounds like a metal band doing it, right? And that's probably because it's, you know, they're just like they're taking the idea and they're doing sort of their best. It reminds me of another thing we talked about where you and I we were going to do a Camelot cover that never came to be, and I learned how much you hate the Phrygian Dominant and how it is not. I despise it with an unholy passion. I hate Phrygian Dominant, and everyone plays it to get like this Arabic sound, right? It's not even Arabic. It's not. It's not even. That doesn't exist in any Arabic. Like, it's not even. But as metalheads, we're like, yeah, that's close enough, right? Yeah. So. As dudes that grew up on this side of the hemisphere and all that stuff. Yeah. But like whatever. No, I like that, man. A state of mind. I'm gonna try to apply that. Yeah, you talked a lot about this already, but we're gonna segue back to the metal rhythm guitar, right? Because that's why we're here. Yeah, because we're not gonna talk about like Brazilian samba or foro or all the other or even Afro-Cuban rhythms, stuff like that, which are also those also smack, but right. No, but it's just too much for everybody. I'm gonna ask you a few. I don't know if they'd be considered hot takes, but things you see a lot of discussions about, and just your honest, just your honest opinion, as a guitarist and someone who plays in professional bands and tours, and just like, and this is great because you said you're someone who expects a lot from someone playing with you, so. These are things that some people feel very passionate about. I'm one of them, and I'm curious about your takes. But the idea of, and I know without, goes without saying that the context of the song matters, but the idea of downpicking versus not downpicking something, is there really that much of a big difference with downpicking certain riffs? Astronomical difference. Are you kidding me? Yes. Like if you can downpick it because it's gonna sound, but it's like, do you want the sound of it, the timbre of it is very, very important, right? Mm-hmm. And this is in context of the song, like should this section feel hyper aggressive and just like in your face? Because if it needs to feel that way, downpick it. Now, if it has to have like more of like a flowy state of it, like sure, you don't have to downpick it. But if you could downpick it, it always just sounds cool because it's just mean and it just like it feels like it's like right here, just like
Yep, I'm with
you
it.
know that meme of like Q and like Picard and like Q's face is like right here. In
Right.
Picard's.
I do
That's
know.
what it feels like when you downpick a riff, man. It's just like like that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And I tried to explain this once to somebody. And I'm gonna say it here, and I hope this is a safe place. Someone made a post, you know, when they played Master of Puppets on Stranger Things, and suddenly like everyone pretended like the song wasn't popular already. But anyways, someone made a post. Yeah, I know. Like it was a whole
Brilliant.
Yeah. Someone made a post about how like I get what where they were coming from, because you know there's a lot of people on either side and people being a little too aggressive about downpick, where you know. But he made a post about like it doesn't matter, like the song is the song. If someone doesn't downpick it, that's just their way to play it. I'm like, you know what? Fair. I hear you.
No, he's a liar. No, sorry, a liar.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No, I'm not gonna stand for that bullshit. All right, no, hell to the fucking no. Okay. When I'm in the studio recording, that guy makes me downpick everything.
Right.
Okay? No. If you say it doesn't matter, you're not my guitar player. Fuck you.
Fair.
I will never play guitar with you.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry. I will not play guitar with you.
Donny.
It's different. Look, it's different live than it is on the recording. On the recording, like it is an absolute decision that has to be made. When I'm recording, I change riffs depending on what string I'm playing on because the timbre of it is that important.
I do the same. I do the same. Yep.
Because it's under the microscope, right? Yeah,
yep,
it's under the microscope.
Yep.
So like it has to, it's like, oh, but it sounds a bit fatter here, or I don't know. That open A though sounds a little more fucking just aggressive in my face. So instead of hitting the 5th fret on the low E, maybe I'll just hit the open A because it sounds a little more aggressive, right? But the 5th fret has like a rounder sound to it. Maybe that sometimes that 5th fret A is better. That's what you need.
Yep.
You know, if you're doing like a kind of thing, like that tightness on the low E might be better with the round sound of it. But then if you want like a kind of like a hair metal aggressive open sounds, like you got to hit the open A instead. Then it's very, very important, right?
Right.
Now live, a lot of times I don't give a shit. In fact, sometimes it's kind of cool if everyone's playing it on a different fret. Like you might be playing the 2nd fret A string for a B note, and I'm playing 7th fret low E, right?
Right.
And sometimes that difference in the timbre kind of fills the sound out to be bigger for that, and that's cool. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Live, sure, you can get away with it. Some things, no, not everything, but a lot of things, yes. But recording, no, you're a fucking liar. You're full of shit. Like, how dare you come up here and say that to me?
Well,
I will. You will. If you say that to me in reality, I will literally. I promise you, I will silently, and I mean this, silently lose all respect for you.
Fair. Real quick, you totally actually just accidentally answered something I was gonna ask you as well.
Okay.
So we'll just touch on that real quick before I forget. But yeah, the difference of recording and live, like they're two different fucking beasts, right? And like you said, everything's under a microscope. I try to do my best to play the same live as I do on the album, but I've even written riffs of my own where I'm like, I ain't fucking playing that shit live like that. There's no fucking
It's
way.
the curse of being a songwriter. You're like,
Yeah,
why did I do
but
this
you want to
to
put.
myself?
Oh yeah, dude. But you want to push yourself, and that's okay, man. Because live, dude, it's the energy. It's you and the crowd. They don't fucking care.
Sure.
If they do care, whatever. It's just the guitarist in the back with his arms crossed, like.
It's the 5 dudes in the audience. Like this. You're right.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the album, yeah, dude, I'm making that shit sound aggressive. Now, I want to go back and defend this rando I was talking about because one, they weren't a guitarist, so I was trying to educate them on the sense of their whole thing was like trying to have people stop being mean about the down picking, and
I know he's not a guitarist. If he even played guitar, I would call him not a guitarist. Okay, like that's the dumbest thing I heard anyone.
I know,
that's so silly to say.
And I
please do defend him. I want to hear it.
Well, no, because I basically said what you just said, but in a nicer way, where I tried to explain to him, like, look, man, I get what you're saying, and yeah, technically they're playing the notes, but the importance of how you play the riff, it is important. The downpicking is important because if you can play puppets, alternate picking, and have it sound as aggressive, fucking show me. Please. Like, it is meant to sound the way it sounds. And I took more time when I wrote the comment, I swear. But you know, the idea of like, oh, if you him, you know, if you don't downpick it, it's okay because you're just expressing yourself. It's like, yeah, I guess, but like,
no, that's a weird way to defend your lack of technique. Whatever. Like,
yeah, there's like, you know, I've tried, and I've tried to play things alternate and downpicking, and I'm just like, no, downpicking just sounds better. But a good example, though, of how it depends. One of my songs, Total Recall, was on the Dire Apparel album. There's the outro riff. I play it twice. First time through, it's palm muted. Second time through, it's not. When I'm not palm muting it, I'm alternate picking it. But clearly, I can play it downpicked because I do. But the idea is it's tight. It's more right, and then it opens up. It becomes loose. So that's yeah. So it's like, in that situation, alternate picking is better. Sometimes the rhythm doesn't call for it.
You're right, because the problem is on either side of this argument, the one thing that reigns true between both of them being wrong on either end of it is that they're not actually listening to the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if it has to be like this open sound to it and a little bit more loose, it's like, yeah, alternate pick it. But like usually when we think of alternate picking, we think it's like very precise, but like that's not
right. Yeah,
not the case in this. But.
Exactly. And so, but then it is funny because sometimes I can be a little downpick elitist too. Because I remember I saw a video of someone was teaching Where Eagles Dare from Iron Maiden. And he's like, yeah, so you're playing these triplets and you're going to alternate them. And I'm like, I would downpick it. And then I was like, oh no, I'm doing it. I'm judging this guy's lesson because, but still, downpick Where Eagles Dare. I'm just saying.
I mean, the thing about it is that, like, if you alternate pick that, because it is triplets, right?
Yeah.
You'll notice something that happens because with triplets, it's a grouping of three, but like triplets are a grouping of three in something that is spaced in duple. And that means that it's basically subdivided by 2 in some way, right? Mm-hmm. So basically what we're doing with triplets, triplet eighths is 3 eighth notes in the space of 2 eighth notes, or 1 beat in this scenario, right? So from beat 1 to beat 2, instead of having ba, ba, like that, 1 and 2, we're having triplet bop. Mm-hmm. So triplet 2, right? So you have 3 notes there. And what happens when you have an odd number over this even number like that, you'll notice that like the down beat doesn't always fall on the down pick.
Right.
It flips every other time, right? It's triplet, 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 triplet. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? And so the cool thing is, like, if you were to down pick it, you don't run into that problem then, right?
Right.
That's one solution to this thing. The other, and this is something that you have to worry and concern yourself about if you're a lead player also. It's everything. Because it's like, okay, it's this, when I cross a string, sometimes it's easier to cross a string if I'm going down and moving in the same direction as this. Or sometimes it's best if I just like always start with a down pick, even if I'm moving this way. Like if I'm moving this way, I want to start with a down pick like that, right? Different players are different about the way they play this. It's the same thing if you're playing a riff also that's like a string skipping kind of riff. It's like a melodeath kind of vibe to it, right? But it's something where like you have to be concerned with this because it does change where the accents sound, how they lie, because the down is always going to sound a bit more aggressive than the up, right?
Right.
That's just the world we live in.
What a world.
You know, so like it's a question I wanted to ask you actually about this also, because I learned this from a blues player actually, of different ways to play triplet eighths rhythmically. You know, there's the alternate like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. There's the down, 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 like that. But there's also down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Mm-hmm. And I'll sometimes do down, down, up because I kind of like having the up on the last triplet note. I kind of like that sound and how it feels. Like it feels like it kind of like does this like motion like this to me, right? And it's kind of like a interesting thing. So like sometimes when I'm playing a rhythm thing in Cradle and it's just triplets, I will literally go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And I will do that even if it's like chords, just because I kind of like that sound sometimes. And it looks cool when you do it with your hand, you know?
Right. And everyone, if you learned anything from this, make sure it looks cool.
Make sure it looks cool. Yeah, yeah. It's the struggle we all have. Like, is my guitar strap too high?
Oh, do I know that one, dude? Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I don't know. Like, let's lower it a little bit. It looks cooler.
It's a little harder to play, but it looks cooler. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I think's cool? Playing the notes right. That's what I think's cool.
So wait, so what was your question for me? Yeah.
Do you ever do the down, down, up, or do you just do you favor down, 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 or you know, like obviously you do the alternate as well sometimes, but have you ever done the down, down, up triplet?
No, actually, this is my first time even hearing that kind of style. But funny enough, thinking about the way I like to play, that actually seems more my jam. You know, because I'm still getting the two down, 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 down. Yeah. I'm gonna try it.
I got it from a Berkeley professor.
Nice.
I didn't go to Berkeley, by the way. I didn't think I was good enough. But but like there's this video that I did remember watching when I worked in a music store, and it was Tomo Fujita, I think is his name. Mm-hmm. And he's an absolutely incredible like fusion blues player. And he teaches at Berkeley, and he just has these rhythm exercises. They're just like ass kickers. They'll just crush you, dude. They'll just like destroy you.
Hell yeah. That's what we need.
Yeah, yeah, and you're like, what? This is all this from just a blues guy, dude. Like they destroy you. But he has that triplet down, down, up that he does in an exercise.
I like that.
And I thought
I'm gonna fuck.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
dude, do it. It's cool.
Couple things. I'd love for you give some tips to like aspiring rhythm players on some great exercises, some great resources, or even great mindsets to have about starting this.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say actually hang out with drummers. They're gonna teach you so much more about rhythm anyway. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I learned how to count quintuplets from hanging out with drummers, and this is something that I love because quintuplets are something that I use a lot, and I use a lot in my rhythm playing, and I use a lot in my lead playing, and I'll even do septuplets, 9s and 11s also. So we actually just call them 11 tuplets, what we call them. We don't use the proper word for that, but anyway, but we just say 11 tuplet. And for those who don't know what that means, a quintuplet is 5 notes in the space of one beat. So like triplets are triplet, 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 triplet. So it's like triplet, 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 like that, right? But a quintuplet would be 5 of those. It's jaka jaka da 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 like that. So it's 5 notes, and the way you count is jaka jaka da ja, like that, right?
Sick.
And then 7 is jaka 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 da. So it's 2 2 3. Or you can count jaka da jaka jaka if you want 3 and 2. It's up to you. You know that does change the way it feels a little bit, but like you want to try to make them even if you can. But like. You know, and for me, it's like whenever I'm playing something, because I don't like the feeling of something being straight 16ths. Mm-hmm. It feels mechanical to me, and triplet 8s are so overused to me that starts to feel mechanical. It's kind of like how I feel about Phrygian dominant. I'm like, it's just overused. Everyone uses it too much.
Right.
You know, to me, it feels like it's like, oh, okay, cool. So you wrote this in Guitar Pro, but you didn't know how to do the quintuplet because there's not a quintuplet button. You have to actually go through menus to change it to quintuplets. So like you would never have written quintuplets because you just wrote it in Guitar Pro and don't know where the quintuplet button is.
I feel like
it's like a lot of tech metals that way.
I was gonna say I feel like that one was a call out to me. It's all right. I see. Yeah.
No, nothing against it. It's just that like you know, it's like one of those like I think it sounds less human because the quintuplet has this kind of like, you know, like this kind of like sound to it versus like it feels like it kind of like ramps up to me, and that feels very organic, I think.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to remind people too, because I fall in this habit as well, is remembering again the time and place. Sometimes you want that mechanical tightness, that fucking just on the grid raw, but don't be afraid to feel human sometimes too. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool because the quintuplet is mechanical, but it feels human.
Right.
And you can make it feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like septuplets and all that stuff. And also I would say everyone stop, please, for the love of God, calling it 16th triplets. You're killing me here. It's a sextuplet is what it's called. You're literally making the sheet music side of it harder to read. For the love of God, please stop with the triplet 16th terminology. It's a sextuplet. It's 6 notes in the space of one beat. That's how this isn't nom. There are rules, okay? And like,
what is just a good mindset tip for younger striving players in general, whether it's rhythm, lead, whatever, just a way to remind themselves of like, hey, like you're gonna get there, man, you know, or just keeping that enthusiasm, I guess, you know. What would help you if you saw a student of yours discouraged, right? Or I don't know, just good mindset. Quit.
Don't do it. Music's dumb. It's bad. It's a terrible idea. Yeah. It's both subjectively bad and just the worst thing you ever do. And definitely don't go to college for it like I did. No, I would say
you'll start a podcast and here you are.
Yeah. You know, actually, like the thing about it is that like this happens to all of us actually, where it's this thing where we kind of we feel like we hit like a wall, right? And we kind of get very discouraged, like, you know. And the thing about it is that like just keep doing the same things that you enjoy doing on the guitar. And the weird thing is that one day you'll wake up and you'll be able to do the thing that's a little bit tougher than you. Like obviously practice that thing a little bit here and there, but don't spend your entire time playing guitar doing that one thing, because you'll start to suck at the other things that you're already good at. So just kind of like sprinkle it in. It's like salt, man. You know, like you need it, but too much is a bad thing. You know, you just like ruin the taste of it. You need just the right amount of your practice regimen to include the something new that's like kind of pushes you a little bit. But like, because you have to have fun playing the instrument. That's the important thing. And if you hit that wall and you start to beat yourself up, you know, and you go and you play something and you're having fun, but then you go, but I didn't practice anything, so you kind of like beat yourself up over it. That's like everybody. Like that's me whenever because I work from home because I write music all day long from home, and I beat myself up when I can't come up with something or
that's been me the last year and a half.
Myself. No, you know, yeah. This is the thing though. Don't stress about that stuff, because here's what happens, right? In the beginning, there is no base for anything for you to be like what you've learned and stuff like that. So anything you learn is exponentially bigger than what you're learning now, because everything you're learning now is such smaller increments, right? But that's because there's so many other things that you already know, right? It's like age. It's like when you're a kid, it's like, wow, a year felt like forever. Well, yeah, of course, because when you're 1 year old, that was your entire life,
right?
You know, and when you're like 30, you're like, yeah, a year doesn't seem that long. We're like, well, yeah, because a year is now 1/30 of your life. So yep. it's this exponential difference, right? Learning is the same exact thing whenever it comes to the guitar, because when we start out, we learn something and it's like, boom, I have so much I just learned. It's like, well, you just learned like a G chord. But that's 100% more than what you knew before. You know? Like, and now you're like, okay, I'm trying to learn how to do this crazy thing. Is like, okay, yeah, but have a little self-reflection and just go, well, yeah, but just think about all the things that you do know that you didn't know when you first started out. Because everything that you feel like you're hitting this wall, you're not going to notice the big of a difference of something that you learned, even if you're playing the same thing. But I promise you, if you play the same things over and over and over again, you're going to get tighter and better at that. But you don't notice it because it's such a micro thing compared to how much you learned when you first started. Because when you first started, you knew nothing. Right? So just remember that, because that's the most important thing when you hit a wall, is that you are significantly further than you were when you started.
Thank you, Donny, for being here, man. Thank you for being the first guest of this. I love talking to you about this stuff. Like, I always take something away from it, so it's really great. So I hope this will help some other people as well, and I appreciate it, man. I know we talked about in the beginning who you play for, what you do, but is there any plugs at all you got right now of things coming up you want people to be aware of, or where they can find you, your Patreon maybe, whatever you got, dude? Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I've got a Patreon page. It's literally my name, patreon.com/Donny Burbage. You can go there if you want to learn how to play some, well, there's a really hard riff that I have in a Cradle of Filth song that if you're a rhythm lover, this thing has been, for some reason, people say it's the most difficult riff they've ever played, and yet it looks like the easiest riff of all time. And that's not the goal. You want the complete opposite, the reciprocal of that. But for some reason, I fucked up. But I tell you how to do it in the Patreon page. It's really cool. If you want something that's going to punish you, that's there. There's a lot of stuff on how to play all different Cradle of Filth stuff. I'm going to add more to it. I haven't had the time to, because I've been writing an album, which means that I'm going into the studio to record. I've finished writing it. Well, I got one more riff I'm going to do after this, but, you know, a little tweak. And then I have to abandon it because this is how it is.
Yeah, of course.
I'm also working on a super cool guitar solo album as well.
Oh.
So That's really cool. It's going to be very video game inspired sounding. It's going to be really cool, I think. What I got so far is
one
really
melody
cool
every song, bro. Let's go.
That'd be the dream, but no, not that good.
All right.
You know, yeah. And then you can find me on Instagram, where you can follow me doing cool stuff like touring the world and playing music and talking about random things. I also stream on Twitch sometimes when I have time, and on there I sometimes even like write songs, and I'll play a lot of like Eighth Realm and Cradle of Filth songs on there as well. And sometimes I give the random, hey, this is how you do this thing. And I still teach lessons and stuff like that. So if you feel like you want to learn some stupid shit, whatever, it's cool. But, you know, do your thing, you know?
Hell yeah. All right, cool. And yeah, everybody, if you want to join a community around heavy metal rhythm guitar, like-minded folks like yourself, where we help each other out, collaborate, give feedback, share riffs or whatever, join the Discord. You know, follow me on Instagram. It's just Jason Ashcraft. And, you know, I look forward to seeing you next week for the next episode. And, you know, I hope to make this an ongoing thing and a growing community, man. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Donny. Quick bonus thought from Donny.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot and I just realized it. But no, like, there's this, whenever you're writing songs like that, right? And there's always this, like, emphasis whenever they teach you, especially in music theory or, like, in any kind of class, there's always, like, this push-pull of, like, tension and release, right? And it's always, the way that everyone always teaches it is always about the chord and the sound of that chord or the quality of it. Like this major chord with a dominant 7, so it's a flat 7, wants to resolve to this specific chord, right? So like a G7 wants to resolve to a C, and an E7 wants to resolve to an A, you know. And it could be A major, A minor, doesn't really matter, but it just wants to pull you there. But like the funny thing is that I always think about this as like sometimes the tension itself doesn't have to be the chord. The tension can be the rhythm, and you can make rhythmic tension also to imply the motion towards something else as well. You know, and that rhythmic tension can be a bunch of different things. It could be maybe like the song is like just strumming eights and like and it goes to the next part, right? It's like this, like kind of like these accented but that's like it's like 1, 2, and then groupings of 2. So you're doing a weird rhythmic thing here where you have a grouping of 1 and then 2 over this duple thing, right? Or it could play like a triplet, like and then go to that, right? And that kind of just feels like tension already, and it's not just the chord, it's not just the sound of the chord you're playing or something like that, or the note choice. The pitch is not the only thing that can do tension. The rhythm itself, and this is cool because it could also be nothing. It could be 0. It could be just like a hard stop and everything chokes and stops and there's silence.
And to be honest,
it comes and it hits.
That's some of my favorite. Fucking best example, maybe not best example, but a really good one, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Simple, but it gets me me every time.
Yeah.
When he's like, take a look to the sky just before you die. It's the last time he will. They all cut out. Boom. And they come back in. Like, it's, I don't know. To me, it's so good. It's so good.
And that's kind of word painting, isn't it? Also, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like it stops right after that word. And it's like you're painting the word with the tension that you do nothing here. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so much to songwriting that's like cool like that. Like when you introduce like the idea of like what the lyrics are going to do. Because if you're the lyricist and the songwriter, oh my gosh, the palette that you have to work with is just it's too much sometimes, but it's so much fun because it's like maybe when I sing the word higher, I will make the chord and the note go up in pitch to paint the word higher. And I've experienced that a few times when I've like handed over my music to either Heather or like Sozos and they add the lyrics. They've come back to me and was like, hey, can you change this chord to or this to that? Because I have this vocal idea. And then you see the vision and it's like, oh shit, you know? And as someone who doesn't do lyrics, I don't hear that. I don't think of that. So it's cool when they come back at it. Because there was even one where Heather's like, okay, just hold this chord instead, because like in a riff I'm like doing all this stuff and she's like, all right, what I want you to do though for the very last one, just stay on that chord. And you know, the guitarist in me is like, well, that's boring, what do you mean? She's like, trust me. Yeah,
she's like, trust me. And then what she did with it, it was so good. I was like, fuck, you know. Anyways, you guys thought this was over? Shit, no. But unless you had any other final thoughts, I think it is actually over, everybody.
No, I mean, like that. Yeah, that's just called word painting, and that's a whole thing to look into. This guy Richard Wagner was really good at it. He wrote "Fly of the Valkyries," Tristan Isolde, all that stuff. Like, you know, if you and again, this is stuff that's like weird things that inspire me that, like, you know, you might not realize that. Like, I'm like, oh no, I fucking listen to all kinds of dumb music.
That's all right.
No, I don't think I got anything else. I think that's it. I think we're gravy, baby. I think we're good.
It's all right. I feel like Donny and I could chat for hours, so who knows, everybody. We might have to bring him back sometime.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But all right, everyone, enjoy. Follow Donny. Please follow me. Join the Discord. Join the community. Later.